What's going on, everyone? ODC here, and I'm back with another action figure review. Today's review, we're going to take a look at the Star Wars The Black Series Cobb Vanth action figure. This is actually a figure I was looking forward to quite a bit, and a character that's kind of really grown on me. I'm also a big fan of Timothy Oliphant. I think he's a really good actor, and I think this is actually quite a cool, decent character. Very kind of old school Wild West style character. He's the marshal of the town, and he's kind of taking care of his town and everything. I like that. I dig that quite a bit. And I thought it was pretty interesting for them to kind of come up with this new character and give him the Boba Fett armor and kind of build his character through not just owning the armor, but also building and making his character a little bit more mysterious and a little bit more, I don't know, I guess likable. He's a very likable character. He's not a bad guy. He's just trying to do right by his town. He's very level-headed, logically thinking type character, and I dig that. He's actually grown on me quite a bit and become like one of my favorite characters out of all the new Star Wars stuff. I want to say he's actually a better built character than anybody in really the sequel trilogy as far as character development, and that's, I guess, maybe not saying too much because there's not a whole lot of time given to a lot of the sequel stuff, but I actually really dig his character, though, from the little bit that we do know. It's pretty cool. Obviously, spoiler alert here, but if you haven't seen the end of Book of Boba Fett, we do see him in the Bacta tank, so this is obviously not his look from that. This is his look from The Mandalorian. He does come in deluxe style packaging. Unfortunately, I don't have that packaging anymore. If I do find it, I will post a photo of it on my Facebook page and the Strident Facebook page, and also my Twitter page, which I just recently set up. So if you guys want to check that out, you can. If I do find the packaging, I'll post it on there, but I'll also post some photos of Cobb here. Anyway, moving into take a look at some of the details on this figure. I really do quite like the detail going on throughout this, and the consistency of the wear and tear with his armor, and even some of the promo shots that we've seen for the Book of Boba, or I'm sorry, the Mandalorian Boba Fett armor, when he just puts on the armor over the kind of Tusken Raider Tython outfit, whatever you want to call it, all the above, on Boba Fett. So it's pretty consistent with the battle damage too. So at least from what I could see from the proto photo. So I think it's pretty cool. We've got a newly sculpted blaster rifle for Cobb, and this is his blaster rifle. And we also have a really nice blaster pistol, which I'm kicking myself now for not looking up the specific name. So please let me know in the comments below what the name of the blaster rifle or blaster is. But I really like this design of this blaster rifle. It looks really nice. It looks like an old 6-shooter from the Wild West, and that's kind of the theme that they're going with. So it makes perfect sense, and I quite like that. But I think it'd be pretty cool if maybe in the future seasons, or if we see Cobb Vanth and anything else, if he maybe were to adopt a hat or something like that. It'd be pretty cool. But he can two-hand his gun. He's a little restricted by looking down the sights. Not too much, but a little restricted by these hoses kind of for the flamethrower. I could see over time, if these are stressed too much, that they could crack and possibly snap off. So just, kind of understand that could possibly be a thing. The wrist is on a hinge, and that's actually how his wrist should be, is like this, with this faced upward. Now, here's the question that most people I've seen have. As soon as I saw someone post their photo of their Cobb Vanth online, and I actually looked into it myself, a lot of people were like, oh, is the armor removable? This armor, actually, it's not removable officially, but you can remove the armor, and there is a separate torso piece that does match his shirt underneath. And the only reason I know that is if you lift this up, you can see there's separate pieces. So this is not a full torso piece right here, just kind of covering on top. So this actually makes sense from a logical standpoint of we're definitely going to see a regular Cobb Vanth from the Book of Boba Fett on here, which I think I'm maybe a little bit more excited for. This is a nice deluxe figure, don't get me wrong, but if you just pop this off, you can also see the shirt right there going through the back of the armor. So there is a separate torso piece right there that you can see. I don't know if it's textured like the shirt because it's kind of hard to tell. I don't think it is. I think it's just a smooth piece. So it might look a little bit weird if you do cut this off. Maybe if you cut it off here at the seam and then over here at the seam too. Maybe if we could pop this off. I don't know. Let me see. It looks like there's a separation point right here. No, maybe not. It looked like it was a separation point right there. If you can see that little bit of a shadow right there. But I don't think the shirt underneath is textured like the rest of the shirt's supposed to be. So that would maybe be a drawback for cutting this off. And even if you do cut this off, you still have the hoses attached to the arm itself, which you would have to cut off. And then on top of that, you also have the gauntlets, which are probably not going to be able to come off either because they're kind of a separate piece. So whenever we do get a regular shirted Cobb Vanth, if you were thinking about just purchasing this one and just making him into his normal look, which you can take this helmet off, you would definitely have the lack of sculpting underneath this, and then you would have these gauntlets, which you would have to work around. So I would just honestly just wait for the proper version to come out. I'm sure with the growing popularity of this character that I'm sure, that they will release a regular version of Cobb in the future. With the helmet off, it does give a really good likeness to Timothy Olyphant. And like I said, I think he's one of those actors that are very underrated. I feel like a lot of people don't talk about Timothy that much, but he's a very good actor. One of my favorite Scream killers too. Yeah, there's a ton of movies. What was it? Girl Next Door. Loved him in that. He played such a good asshole. Like, he's just got very good range. You could put him in a comedy. You could put him in a drama. You could put him in pretty much anything. And he's a very likable guy. And I feel like he's got that good on-screen presence. You could make him an action star. Whatever you want to do with him. He's got that look. But yeah, pretty cool. So the way he stands, he actually is quite tall, which is accurate for him, especially as far as the Black series go. And we'll get into size comparisons and all that in a little bit, but I kind of want to just go over the rest of his accessories. So I did go over his handgun. Next, we'll go over his blaster rifle, which looks really good. And I quite like that quite a bit. Oh, it almost looks like a modified A280. And I'm just going to kind of bring in, hold on, I got stuff stuck to my arm here, Trapper Wolf really quick. And we'll take a look and see if it's like a, as you can see, it looks like it's almost like some sort of modified like A280. A little bit, just a little bit. And if we can even see the bottom. So if anybody does know the official term for this rifle, let me know in the comments. Like I said, I don't mind somebody correcting me as far as educational purposes, but try to be cordial in the comments about it. But it looks really cool. I like the original sculpt of it. I think it looks nice. So that's that, and then we have the helmet from Boba Fett, which is Cobb's helmet for the sake of the figure. And I think it looks really good. Like I said, they did a really good paint job on this. It actually is pretty cool because it does fit kind of loose on his head, which I feel like that's kind of a cool little touch because Cobb adopts the armor. It's not really fitted for him, and you can tell, like, as soon as we saw Cobb for the first time in The Mandalorian, you could tell that wasn't Boba Fett underneath the suit because he was too tall, kind of, Timothy Olyphant's a little bit, lankier, rangier, wiry. And you could tell that like the helmet was sitting up higher, and it does here too. So that's pretty cool. So it would actually kind of make sense that it kind of fits a little bit looser on his head because it wasn't really intended for him. So that's pretty cool. No detail in the inside, obviously. We do have a rangefinder, which I'll pop that back on his head, and it does scroll down, so you can check it out. And he actually does use the rangefinder a couple times in that Mandalorian episode. The backpack, or the jetpack, I should say, is pretty similar to the Return of the Jedi, which I'll do a quick comparison with Return of the Jedi Boba Fett backpack, and there are some similarities between the two. Obviously, there's a little bit of differentiation between the two as well. The jetpack boosters right here are kind of like a silver, and then over here we're just kind of like a painted white, almost like a cream color. There's a big silver stripe going across on Cobb's version, and obviously the rocket itself is completely different. So some different paint apps here and there, like there's a little bit of white where the silver was, and some cool little differentiations between the two, kind of setting each character and their jetpack apart from each other. So I like that, and I actually like that there's a little bit more wear and tear here on his jetpack after, as opposed to here where it's a little bit kind of cleaner. And it would make sense him sitting in the Sarlacc pit for that long, but still, just wanted to point out the similarities between those two. And yeah, pretty cool. The rocket is removable, so you can pop that rocket off if you want to. And you can attach it back on there if you want to. It's up to you. Whatever you want to do. If you want to have them without the rocket, with the rocket, whatever you so choose. And the jet boosters are a articulated point, a point of articulation, I should say. I'm talking backwards like Yoda. And he does have the holes for the blast effects. So if you have extra blast effects from the deluxe version of Boba Fett, you could use that with this. And that essentially is all of his accessories. Now, he was a deluxe figure, or he is a deluxe figure, I should say. So he does warrant a little bit higher of a price point at, I think it's around $32.99. I don't think that's too bad. I don't think he's technically a deluxe figure, seeing as we got other Boba Fetts that come with similar amounts of accessories and such. He doesn't come with any blast effects or anything, which I think he should. Any sort of deluxe figure should come with effects of some sort. That kind of warrants it to be considered a deluxe figure. He just kind of comes with the bare minimum. He should have probably just been a regular figure release. I mean, you could have even just had the jetpack attached to him, just like every other Boba Fett release, and had the helmet on him to save space in the packaging. And then have both guns, or just even one gun, just like this, or just have the helmet off and have it like that set up in the package. I think that would have made a lot more sense than just price gouging people. So I don't really consider him to be an official deluxe release. Well, he is an official deluxe release by Hasbro's terms, but not by my terms, personally. But as far as his articulation does go, his head can swivel side to side. It can do a full 360 rotation, so if you need it to, you can. He's got really good head and neck articulation and range of motion, so that's really great. His head can look back about that far, so if you need to get him in that kind of like flying pose, he can kind of look back a little bit further, and you can actually move the helmet up a little bit too. So a little bit better range of motion with the helmet on, and a little bit more, I guess I want to say, attitude being shown, emotion being shown through the helmet. With the helmet off, either way, still looks really good. And he's got that separate neck point, so he can look down really well, and he can look up, and he can put it side to side. And obviously, we got some jive turkeys up in here. So there's some jive turkeys for you. Arms go up about that far. They go down. He can do a full 360 rotation. This is a pliable plastic, which that's just popped off. I'm not sure if that was supposed to pop off. No, the glue popped off, actually. So I'll have to go ahead and re-glue that. Okay, and we're back. I had to glue that back on really quick, or so that would have bothered me the whole time. Hopefully it doesn't fall off, but the arms can go out about that far and can go down. So just be forewarned that that's a little bit of a spotty glue job, I guess, on Hasbro's part. Maybe it's just my copy. So, but he can do a single bend at the elbow, a little bit more than 90 degrees. There's neutral right there. Here's the kind of 90-degree bend right there, and that's a little bit more. So that's that. Swivel at the elbow as usual. Swivel at the wrist. He also has a swivel at the gauntlet. And he does have a hinge joint, which it does go back and forth. And then on the other side, it does go up and down on this side. The elbow joint can still get more than 90 degrees. It does put a little bit of stress and tension on those kind of tubes, the sculpted tubes. So just kind of be careful. Try to understand that. Try not to put him in too many stress poses with those tubes. It does have a diaphragm joint. Can pivot side to side, pivot back and forth. He can swivel. A little bit of a ratchet joint there. He can do the splits pretty well. Looking at you, Spider-Man. Legs go forward. Legs go back just a hair. That's neutral. Upper thigh swivel. He does have a single jointed knee right there. And another single jointed knee right here. So there's that. And then he also has a swivel at the knee as well, which we're used to with most Black Series figures now. He can pointy toey, pointy heely, ankle pivot, and let's see if he has any boot swivel. No, because he's got the knee swivel right there. So I think he's really well articulated. And I got to say that the head sculpt really does make the figure. I mean, there's so many really aesthetically pleasing things about this figure. I don't know. I'm really looking forward to a regular version for Cobb Vanth. Even if we just get, the Book of Boba Fett version, where before he was shot by Cad Bane, I'd be down with that. I think it's pretty cool, his look, and this actually symbolizes that he is a marshal. The belt buckle. He actually points to it and says that. Also, if you did want to take off his armor, like I said, you could also remove it from the seam and probably not have an issue getting that off. You could remove the head, get that off as well. You could also kind of peel this knee armor off. It's a very pliable, malleable plastic, and you could probably just peel that off. I think there is a peg hole there, so you might have a peg hole sticking out, but most of you customizers out there could probably fill that. You guys are very talented out there. The backpack does just plug right into his back like so. It is a little bit of loose fit. I would like it if it would have sunk in a little bit further on him, but not the end of the world, just kind of pointing it out. And the helmet fits on the head, and all of the guns, or the weapon accessories, fit in the hands and everything. And so if you wanted to have him dual wielding, I guess you could. I'm not really a big fan of dual wielding too much unless it makes sense for the, for the scene or for the actual character to be shooting like this. But I actually do like him with his pistol a little bit more than with his rifle. But I still like the uniqueness of him. He is a very unique, while still staying familiar, obviously, with the Boba Fett armor, but a very unique looking character. And if we take this helmet off, you can kind of see that there. But yeah, I do like the character of Cobb Vanth. He seems like a very loyal and trustworthy and honest and honorable character. If those would be the words that I would definitely describe Cobb Vanth, and I dig that about him. So I hope they do a little bit more with his character. It'd be nice to see that. Okay, so first up for size comparisons, we've got two other Black Series figures, and I tried to find a smaller body and a larger body for you to compare. So on the left, we've got the original Hoth Han Solo, not the archive release. This is the blue jacket version. And I want to say Han's a little bit taller just by the hood. but they're around the same height almost. And then on the right, we've got the Dave Filoni Trapper Wolf action figure, which was a Hasbro Pulse exclusive, and he's just on the X-Wing Luke body. Okay, next up we've got a McFarlane figure in the Three Jokers Batman on the left, and then on the right we've got a Motu Classics Vicor action figure. Okay, next up we've got two specialty items. We've got SH Figuarts Darth Maul on the right, and then on the left we've got a Mezco Vapor action figure. Okay, next up we've got two Marvel Legends. On the left we've got the Marvel Legends Sentry on the Hyperion body, and then on the right, we've got Captain Marvel. Okay, and next up, we've got a Motu Revelations Fisto on the right, and then on the left, we got a G.I. Joe Classifieds Duke. Okay, and last up, we've got two Star Wars Black Series action figures. We've got the Mandalorian on the right from his original look from Season 1. And then on the left, we've got the Return of the Jedi Boba Fett Deluxe figure. Still one of my favorite Black Series figures to this date. Okay, so for my final thoughts on Cobb Vanth here, I gotta say he's a really good figure. This figure actually took me by surprise because I was actually looking more so forward to his regular look from the recent Book of Boba Fett, but obviously this is going to make sense chronologically coming out that he would come out in this version first. So I'm pretty happy with the figure. I love the head sculpt on him. I think it's perfect for Timothy Olyphant. And I love the character design in general. It's very simplistic as far as that's concerned. But I thought it was actually pretty cool, the story of Cobb Vanth. And the figure itself does a really good representation of the character and of the actor. And I love all the just intricate little details going throughout him. Whether it's the little bit of detail right here on the side of his leg, or just the boots themselves just kind of looking a little bit more grimier. And all of the weathering going throughout all of the armor and the jetpack, and even the little wraps that he's got on the rifle grip, and even for his hand placement, so his vertical grip. I think it looks really good. Very nicely done. I like his sidearm. Everything, there's a lot on this figure that's very unique. Some, obviously, pieces are reused from Boba Fett, but that's warranted because that's kind of part of his character design when we first saw him. So it works perfectly to a T, and I think that this figure is really well done. This might be one of the best Black Series figures to come out so far. And yeah, I'm very happy that we also got a brand new character, and I welcome that. Give us some more new characters, man. We've been so exhausted with Luke, Han, Leia, Chewie, Obi-Wan Kenobi, all these just the same old characters. Like, give us some more new characters, and I love that. So I welcome that. And final verdict, I would definitely give him a 2 thumbs up. Let me get my other thumb in there. 2 thumbs up, and he's definitely my favorite town marshal. I'd go to him if I had an issue, and I might even strive to be his new deputy, seeing as there's an opening. But I like the detail across the board with him. The articulation's really well done. You can pose him any way you want. He's very easy to stand and pose and do whatever. Only thing I would want to improve on him would be probably, I don't know, probably those hoses over time. I could see those snapping off. It would have been cool if the gauntlets were removable, but it's not really the end of the world, and I'm not too worried about that because, like I said prior, we're probably going to get a regular release of the character, and they're probably going to do more with his character as well. You don't just sign Timothy Olyphant to a contract just so you can have 1 or 2 episodes, So I don't know. I like the figure. I think he's a good, solid figure. For the price point of the deluxe price point, I definitely can't agree with the extra money that you'll be spending, but with the amount of paint detail that you are getting and I guess the accessories, I guess I kind of wish this was around the maybe just under $30 price point, maybe like 28, or just even 30 would probably make a little bit more sense. But Then again, I still look at $32, $33, even $34 at some websites. And, you know, he probably should have came with blast effects. So that's something to add in there too. But overall, I like the figure. I would definitely recommend him. And yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Thank you for watching as always. And I'll see you guys on the flip side.